Who do you think is under more pressure? Do you think it's Ben or Justin Fields?
Believe it or not, I think it's Ben. Because Justin Fields is a rookie, and we hope a lot of things about it, but expectations, no. But Big Ben Roethlisberger, let's call it what it is. He's looked relatively anemic, to say the least. He's got, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, completing 62% of his passes. Looks like a statue out there. Seems completely immobile. And right now, the Steelers season, I'm not going to say it's on the line because it's week 3, and we're talking about Mike Tomlin coach team here that has never, ever finished under 500 in his coaching career. But when we consider the elevation of the Baltimore Ravens combined with the Cleveland Browns in the AFC, Cincinnati is nothing to sneeze at this particular moment in time. They lost last week, but Joe Burrow has skills. Jamar Chase has skills. They've got some weapons there. The bottom line is if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, particularly with T.J. Watt, and I don't know what the hell is you and Ryan, Sam, what can y'all tell me what the hell is going on with a football team that got 4 dudes with groin injuries? What the hell are they doing? What the hell are they doing? We got T.J. Watt, we got T.J. Watt, we got Alex Highsmith, okay? We got Joe Hayden, and I forgot who the 4th one is. All got groin injuries. What the hell's going on up there in Pittsburgh? All 4 y'all? Now they got a plethora of injuries. But all 4 different dudes with the same injury.
I distance myself from these comments. I just want America to know that.
I damn near want to distance myself from it. I damn near want to distance myself from it. I don't understand.
Because my mind doesn't go there, okay? So please don't take it there.
I just feel you. All I'm trying to say is that I look at you.
Groin injuries?
Listen, you gave me the sheet yesterday, and I looked at the injuries, and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4 different dudes with the same injury, and it's all groin injuries. I'm just saying. I don't know what the hell's going on up there. All right?
Everybody needs to rest.
I don't know what's going on there.
Everybody just needs to rest.
I got it, but all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, when you consider all of that, Big Ben Roethlisberger and your offensive line is so suspect. Big Ben Roethlisberger, your only hope is for him to do something, and that's pressure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I feel like you must have played for the Steelers because no matter when they come up, you just have to talk about them. And maybe you just enjoy talking about the Steelers, but you know good and dang well it's more pressure on Justin Fields. The headline of one of the local papers in Chicago was, Justin Fields gets his chance, ... and not much else. Because for all offseason, for all of the preseason, everyone has been calling for Justin Fields to play. The fans in the stands have even been chanting his name while Andy Dalton was on the field. And then he gets to play, and so nobody realizes that Allen Robinson drops a touchdown, a guy who never drops a football, who actually made Blake Bortles and Mitchell Trubisky look good at times, drops a touchdown. That's a 40-yard touchdown. Now he's 7 for 13. A ball hits off of him. Like, they don't realize those things because people are looking at Justin Fields and judging him by these things. They believe the Chicago Bears still have a championship defense. They do not. They believe that the Chicago Bears has a coach that if he has the right player at the position can actually coach. They do not. So Justin Fields is not only going to be judged for what he does, but for what the Chicago Bears look like and how they finish against the Cleveland Browns. Big Ben ain't under no pressure. He a Hall of Famer, baby. He ain't got nothing to trip about up there. And everybody know that me, you, Molly, and Sam Acho are blocking for him. He is safe. Justin Fields is not.
Well, Justin Fields may not be safe, and he does have more pressure, but the reason why is a lot different than what you're saying, Ryan. The reason Justin Fields has more pressure isn't just because the fans have been cheering for him. It's because the expectations are through the roof for him. Chicago has never had a franchise quarterback. Go down the list. Jay Cutler, you couldn't say he was that guy. Mitch Trubisky, you couldn't say he's that guy. Go down to whatever list you want to go to. Chicago hasn't had it, and now Chicago, everyone in Chicago believes that Justin Fields is that guy. Even me, I'm here in New York. I'll be walking down the street. People know me because I played with the Bears. They're saying, Sam, what's going to happen with Justin Fields? Sam, I hear you've been saying that he should sit, but come on, we need him. That's pressure. Big Ben is 39 years old. He's won his rings. He's done his thing. If he doesn't play well for the rest of this season, he could retire and maybe go in the Hall of Fame. Justin Fields hasn't proven anything yet. He has a lot to prove and a lot on his shoulders. That defense, contrary to your point, Ryan Clark, is a championship defense. We saw them show it last week with Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith essentially won the game for his team last week when Andy Dalton went down and Justin Fields essentially sputtered through the second half of that game. And so, yes, of course, Justin Fields absolutely has more pressure. It's because he's younger, number one. It's because, number two, the entire city and the nation is looking at this guy saying, you are our future. and no one is going to wait for him to be average. He has to be excellent. He has to be excellent, like, now.
I would chime in, but why are you covering your nose like that?
Because this boy talking about sputtered. He sputtered. Like, I just feel like, man, I feel like sometimes we get to these games and we listen to each other so much and we hear some people say some other things and we not really paying attention to what's going on. Right? Because we're talking about a zero blitz with a fallout where Kurt Warner, who I believe was an MVP, also is a Hall of Famer, throws a 100-yard interception to James Harrison on the same thing. That happens. That's a crosser. That's something you have to learn. I just told you about the 2 drops, but let's talk about the 3rd and 9 play where he essentially escapes a linebacker in the backfield, slides in bounds, using his head, showing that he's not going to go out of bounds to stop the clock to win the game. I think all the time we start to look at these different things that these young quarterbacks do and the pressure that they're under, and we don't truly watch the film and hone in on how the game finished. That team is not a championship defense. If you watch the first week against the Los Angeles Rams, it was bombs over everywhere. And so, no, we can't watch a game against Cincinnati Bengals where they struggle and say that that's the case of this game. The pressure is on Justin Fields because even his own quarterback his own coach doesn't want to start him.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.